Good evening. Welcome. Tonight, I'm going to pose to you all a topic, an issue, shark finning. You may have heard nothing about this, or if you have, you may think, I'm not involved in it, it's a far-off problem, I have nothing to do with it. But this is not true. There are biological, economic, and political ramifications to shark finning that you all feel every day. Shark finning began during the 14th century in Ming, China, in order to prepare this dish, shark fin soup. It was a meal reserved for powerful and important bureaucrats, officials, emperors, the lot. And today, the prestige has not disappeared, the tradition has not disappeared, and the desire to have it is still incredibly strong. But China's middle class, the main place where it's eaten, is growing, and the demand simply cannot keep up with shark populations. Shark populations cannot keep up with the demand. 1 in 5 shark species today are classified by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature as threatened by extinction. Right? The problem either has to stop, or sharks will become extinct. Now, what actually happens in the process between sharks in the ocean and sharks in the bowl? First, long cables fish the sharks in huge numbers and hoist them onto boats, where, alive, their fins are hacked off by machetes. The dorsal fin is removed, the pectoral fins are removed, the anal and pelvic fins are removed, and the caudal fin is removed. Still alive, they are thrown back into the ocean without any fins. If it were a person, their arms and legs would have been removed, and their torso would be thrown back into the water. Unable to move, their fate can go 3 ways. 1, they can suffocate. They will die. 2, they can bleed to death, which ends in death. Or 3, they can be eaten alive by other predators. This also ends in death. Okay? They have no defense. So, apart from regular individual sharks, their environment is also affected by their absence. The biological problems are very severe. So here you have sharks, the top apex predators. And their prey are these middle guys right here, the tertiary, secondary, and primary consumers. These make up smaller fish, grouper, triggerfish, sea turtles, that sort of thing. And herbivores in this group feed on primary producers, coral, seagrass, seaweed, other sea plants. Right? If you look at an ideal ecosystem, the northwestern Hawaiian Islands, the biomass of apex predators is over 50%. But in regular ecosystems, it is much, much, much lower. Now, in North Carolina, sharks were removed from their environment due to fishing. And as a result, ray populations skyrocketed as a result. No, the sharks were not regulating their behavior or their population themselves. Sharks usually, ideally, they would eat the unhealthy or weaker fish, regulating their numbers. But without the constant fear of predation, these rays can go unchecked. They can eat when they want, how much they want, whatever they want. All right? And as a result, scallop populations have suffered. Scallops play a very important role in ecosystems. They keep water quality at a good level. And so rays took out scallops from the ecosystem because simply the demand was too high for the population of scallops. And the fishery in North Carolina, simply the company was not able to maintain a business because there weren't enough scallops in the water. All right. So in Australia, sea turtles exist in constant fear of predation from the tiger shark. But when you take the tiger shark out of the ecosystem, it can graze on seagrass freely whenever it wants to. So you have seagrass populations, and seagrass is a plant, so it photosynthesizes. It takes in carbon dioxide, releases oxygen, which fish breathe, or other animals breathe, and it also provides a habitat for smaller animals. And when you have seagrass suffering, healthy water levels cannot be maintained, and dead zones can occur.
areas in water in which the water quality is so poor that life cannot be sustained. In Jamaica, the Caribbean reef shark feeds on triggerfish, grouper,
smaller carnivores. And without the sharks present, these carnivores can eat way too many smaller herbivore fish. And these herbivore fish, before they were eaten, would mutualistically help coral reefs. They would eat the algae off of coral reefs, keeping them healthy in return, and in return, coral reefs would provide shelter for them. But this problem cannot occur. This problem grows because right now, 90% of Jamaica's coral reefs are covered in macroalgae because this relationship does not exist anymore. Now, I've talked about the ecological problems within the ocean, but also the problem comes ashore. You have shark finners right here who are manipulated or tricked into working on these boats, by companies saying that they're trying to create fish sanctuaries protecting them from sharks, or maybe that they're going to help them start their own business or become successful. But this is not the case. They don't understand the ecological problems that come with shark finning. Also, when they do realize what they're doing, it's almost impossible to break from this system because shark finning, for a large part, is controlled by organized crime. The Taiwanese mafia, most specifically in Costa Rica, works unchecked by government because it is crime. So even if they do realize, they can't break from the system. Okay? Other countries going even further, zooming out the scope, countries rely on sharks and ecosystems to support themselves. Fiji's GDP, 8% of it comes from ecotourism. The Bahamas generate $78 million from tourism. So when you take sharks out of ecosystems, people won't come to see sharks because there aren't any. People won't come to see the beautiful reefs because they will be ruined. So countries, people, jobs, the country will not be able to maintain itself because tourism will not exist anymore. Additionally, even if we go back further, going from country to country, now we're going to the real source of the problem. The Chinese consumer is not aware of the evils of shark finning. They're not aware. The middle class in China is growing. The demand is too much for shark populations. Now, shark fin soup, the demand is growing, it's still prestigious. The problem cannot be solved as is. Now, I've posed you all problems. Social, economic, cruelty. They're all problems. But what is actually being done? In the US, laws have been passed, specifically to the 2000 Shark Fin Prohibition Act signed by Bill Clinton, which bans shark finning in US waters by US boats. And President Obama has recently signed the Save Jaws Act that outlaws ships from carrying shark fins in US waters. But other countries are signing laws to try and stop shark finning. But if you look right here, the main source of the problem, China, Indonesia, Taiwan, no laws are being passed, no legislation is being created. And without change there, shark finning, the problem, cannot be solved. In the US, even though there are laws, it still is a problem. Mohegan Sun in Connecticut serves shark fin soup. Hundreds of restaurants in New York serve shark fin soup. So apart from politics, organizations are working to try and decrease the demand for shark fin soup. Wild Aid has hired spokesmen such as Yao Ming, David Beckham, and Prince William, Duke of Cambridge, to try and decrease the demand in China for shark fin soup. Wild Aid's slogan is, when the buying stops, the killing can too. Other countries are creating, 9 countries have created sanctuaries in order to try and maintain shark populations. Over 20,000 people have signed petitions in the US to raise awareness about shark finning. These great organizations are doing work all over the world to increase awareness. Okay? You in the audience are not exempt from helping. You may not eat shark fin soup, but you are sustaining the problem. You live in a world where shark fin soup is allowed, where shark finning is allowed. So make a Facebook post, sign a petition, make a donation, and you can help stop shark finning. Thank you.